Hi everyone, I just thought I'd do a little video because one of my colleagues at work asked when the next garden video was going to come out, and the date is the 21st of February 2023, and normally at this time of the year I am giving away bucket loads, armloads of cucumbers, zucchinis, lettuces, peas, spring onions, all sorts. I'm giving away heaps. The reality of it is this year my garden was trashed. We went away to India for the end of November and early December, and when we got back the weather was cold. Normally that's 1st of December is the beginning of our summer, but it was cold. It was cold enough for me to get back into my fleecy farm pants. And that cold weather carried on until the week of Christmas. The week of Christmas, about 5 days, was nice weather. It wasn't warm, but at least the sun was shining. And we've been smashed by rain. Here in the Bay of Plenty, we've had, weeks where we've had 400 mils of rain. This last week, Hawke's Bay, Napier and Gisborne, the fruit bowls of New Zealand have been wiped out. There was mudslides, broken roads, trashed houses, cars tipped up, people have lost their lives. So in a lot of regards we feel very lucky. Gosh, I didn't realise that emotion was going to kick in like that. We feel lucky. We've still got our house. Yes, we've had a lot of rain, but there are places in New Zealand that are damaged and are going to take years to get back to some form of normality.
No mai hoki mai, welcome back. A number of Hawke's Bay communities cut off following cyclone Gabriel could soon be reconnected with 5 temporary bridges on the way. They're among desperately needed supplies on board Navy ship the HMNZS Canterbury, due to depart Lyttelton Harbour in the next half hour. Katie Stevenson reports.
Loading up with all the essentials.
So we've got things like nappies, infant milk powder, bin liners, everyday kind of basic material, but actually stuff that might have been misconsidered or not considered in the earlier responses.
The HMNZS Canterbury is carrying, among other things, 6 utility vehicles, 20 generators, 50 gas bottles and 120 emergency packs, as well as 5 temporary bridges broken down in these containers.
They'll assemble those bridges in places where the local bridges have unfortunately been damaged by the storms, by the water flow, and that will just allow the onward movement of these relief aids to the people that need them the most, those people that have become isolated with it.
Same with up north of New Zealand, North Auckland. Another big growing basket of New Zealand also smashed. I heard on the news yesterday that 95% of the kumara crops for this year are lost. Auckland got smashed. There were houses underwater, whole suburbs underwater. That happened the week before the major event of this week. So yeah, we're feeling it. We really are feeling it. And food prices in New Zealand were already ridiculous. God knows what this is going to do. $7.99 for a lettuce. I left that in the supermarket. I just couldn't justify it. So, a lot of the goodness got washed out of my garden. And in retrospect, last summer we spent a lot of time doing the unit up, and so my garden got a little bit neglected last year. I didn't probably feed it as much as I should have. And so it was already on the back foot starting this year for this grow season. But it's literally sand. The dirt is sand. I've just taken a handful. Look how thin that is. It's really heartbreaking. So, you can't control the weather, you just have to roll with the punches. Okay, so this is the left hand side of the garden. And it's devastating. Lettuces I planted about a month ago. The spring onions, here's my hand so you can see how tiny these are. They've been in the ground 2 months. The radishes all went to seed. These are the cucumbers that normally I am picking and giving away to everyone. Look at them. Absolutely munted. I planted 10. Look at them. They're just dead. A tiny little cucumber there. And one up there. Just rubbish. Okay, down here, there were spuds planted in here. There's 1, 2 visible. This is the beetroot patch. And like the rest, it's miserable. These have been in the ground 6 weeks. They should be pretty much half done. We had a row of red onions in here. That's it. Another potato there. There was actually a row of potatoes along here. We have one plant that probably has bugger all under it. Another potato here. The spinach. 1, 2. The pumpkins. One pathetic one. Slightly bigger, but not worth riding home about. And a half decent one hiding in there. This should be covered in pumpkins. The water came down there, collected in here, and washed across, right across, and down into the gully. And that, I think, is a major contributing factor to what's going on. My sweet 100s that are, I don't know, 5 and 4. Usually that is just absolutely covered in tomatoes. There were more spuds in here. I got 1 potato. That was a row of beetroot. As you can see, there's a few stragglers. Bok choy got washed out. And I don't know if you can see it, but those 2 gaps there, the water just came down through here and down and into the gully. A few more beetroots from a row. Some more sweet 100s struggling. Corn, way too late. And these were my money makers. Well, as you can see, not a lot of money is going to get made out of those. And certainly no chutney. The only thing that's actually doing all right is the zucchini plant. He's looking quite healthy and has got a few flowers and is doing his thing. Same up here, beans. Oh my God, talk about has-beens. And a couple of spring onions. In fact, the spring onions are the only vegetable that have been worth mentioning. Bugger is, I don't really like spring onions. And strawberry patch. Yeah, hard. Really quite hard. Normally there's sunflowers everywhere. This is the state of the sunflowers. A few spinaches that I resurrected. Another tomato resurrected, and the beans. Look at the beans. These should be prolifically producing, and I should have beans coming out my ears. In fact, I've got 1 bean. celery, small, and rust. 1 lone beetroot. A capsicum that's not even. And a pathetic little kumara patch. And my beef steak, that is not really a beef anything. In fact, yeah. So this is the result of months of rain here in New Zealand. I mean, we were lucky. The east coast is a shambles. And yeah, we certainly had water that came travelling down through here. And in fact, the only thing that's done bloody well is the blackberry, just to kick you in the arse. And down the gully it all went. Yeah, what we've decided to do is dig out the main growing bed. So we've dug all that out. And we're going to fill it up with cow shit. And then a layer of purchased growing medium on top. So the dirt that came out of there, I've just topped up that little garden bed. And we've just sort of moved it around. But yeah, so the growing medium, which is topsoil, compost and manure, was $135 a cube when the guy wrote it on a piece of paper 2 months ago. It's gone up now to $180 a cube. So, but our soil is basically sand. Everything has been washed out and down the gully. So yeah, today's mish is a layer of cow shit in here, and then top it up ready for some winter growing, hopefully. But crack a day. She's a beaut day. Woohoo! Day in the garden, the house, and even, I don't know if you can see it, the moon. Rightio, time to get the show on the road. Heading to those paddocks over there, where the moo-moos are, to pick up their gold. Couple of wheelbarrows there, doll. Get that shit spread out. Rightio. So we've got a decent layer of cow shit in there now. Time for coffee. I've just been to town and picked up a trailer load. That's a cube of garden mix from Mike at Te Puke Landscape Supplies, and into it. Nice looking dirt. Okay, we've got Romanesco, cannonball cabbage, bruckle flower, which is a sort of yellow cauliflower, 2 lots of ordinary cauliflower, and some lettuce. Rightio, to go in. Rightio. So that's all planted up, giving it a good water, And it's really quite interesting because when we went down to see Mike this morning at Te Puke Landscape Garden Supplies, I picked up a handful of dirt, and in the very first handful of dirt that I picked up, there was a plastic clip and something else, another little piece of plastic. And I thought, oh God, what's this going to be like? What I'm really pleased to say is this is all of what I got out of that square metre of dirt. And if you have a look, what you can see is most of it is fruit stickers. So that really is just proof that this is composted, composted waste. So well done, Mike. Less than, that much. Yeah, I felt for the poor bugger actually. Murphy's Law, the first handful of dirt I pick up's got a plastic clip in it. But so that's the garden planted up, and we'll see what happens. I've left some brassicas alongside as a bit of a control to see who wins first, but I wouldn't want to put a bet on that. Yeah, so it's a little bit of an expensive exercise, but at the end of the day, hopefully this will keep us going for a good couple of years. And yeah, happy, joy. So that was just under a metre of garden mix, $180 from Te Puke Garden Supplies. Cheers, Mike. I'll let you know how it's all turning out. And seeing as how I've planted 12 collies, he'll be in for a fat one. Cool. Okay, see you, everybody. Okay, so I threw some celery and onions in. And that's the planted up garden. But guess what started to happen? We're in for 10 days rain. Oh well,